Welcome everybody to the Skull Hunter Podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Anchor. Anchor is your all-in-one knee platform. Make sure you check them out. Link is in the description. We got some boys with me today. We got Joseph and we got Charles, everybody. How's it going, my boys?
Doing good. I'm just making, doing my thing, freaking have videos, freaking uploaded to my channel the last few days, freaking like crazy. I'm just having a lot of things I've been looking forward to. Like yesterday I had a NASCAR race, and tomorrow I got freaking a huge Destiny expansion to freaking look forward to, and I kick a freaking moth waifu's ass.
Yeah, our podcast is not censored, just in case if any children were wondering. We're not censored. That's awesome, dude. I can't wait I'm gonna try to jump in whenever you make like the videos and stuff. I want to try to catch up on the Destiny stuff a little bit to see how things are going in there. I honestly don't play Destiny, as you know, so you would have more people in there with you. But I'm a Borderlands guy. Joseph, how you doing, bruh? How you doing, bruh?
Not bad. It's been a distinctive 2 weeks, just because, as y'all know from the last episode, I left my company, and I would just say I have not secured income just yet.
I'm still concerned how you've been paying bills and stuff the last couple of weeks.
Well, I mean, I had money saved up just in case this happened. So rent for the month is cleared. Rent for next month, if things were still not haven't turned around yet, still cleared. Although it would involve taking money out of like certain project funds, like money that I was going to pay for artists, money I was going to put towards my business. So it's money that I could spend on rent, but at that point I would rather not, because that to me is a sign that this is not getting any better; it's geting worse. But it's been. So I think for a lot of people who are routine listeners, and as well you find gents, you're thinking, you spent 2 years working for like an e-commerce company, so shouldn't you be doing e-commerce? Which I would say I agree. That's a very good point. Disembodied contrarian. However, it's a matter of like hierarchy. Step one, I have to stop the bleeding. I gotta find income somehow. E-commerce is great, but it does entail a lot of trial and error, and it can end up being a loss rather than a gain. So I was looking around and just trying to think of like what could I do, and I'm just going to lay out some of the things in case people get into the situation as well. There are a lot of options out there. We talked about after our recording, we talked about Uber just doing deliveries. I signed up for that. And so just like going to the fast food areas near where I live, picking them up, dropping it off on the people here in the apartment on dialysis, and that's one option. And that would be like, okay, well it's kind of the last thing that I want to do, just because it's a lot of walking around and movement, and a lot of exposure. So there's that. And then there's a lot of people on YouTube who do like, check out these places that are immediately hiring, check out these work from home opportunities. And the algorithm blessed me with this one video that showed transcription services, listening to audio, converting it into text. And I thought, oh, wow, hold the phone. Yeah. I can do that. I made a career out of listening, and my writing skills aren't half bad either. So I combine those two together, and I can actually do transcription. So I went from optimistic but unsure to about 3 days worth of pure despair to like, oh, actually, you know what? This can work. Yeah, this can actually be a really, really good option for me. So for people who are in that situation, there are a ton of options out there. Just, don't go in with like rose-colored glasses and expect to make a killing all of a sudden. A lot of these, it's something just to get things going. And if you excel, then yeah, you could actually end up making pretty decent money from that. So yeah, I figured out how to stop the bleeding, and that was the most important thing. So the next step is to continue to put myself out there on platforms like Fiverr, Upwork. There's a voice-specific one called Voices. There's ACX if you want to do voiceovers for Audible. There are actually there's a whole ton of these that I've been going. LinkedIn, of course, is a good one. Indeed is a good job search platform. Angel List, Cloud Peeps, Job List, We Work Remotely, and Hubstaff all have job postings. So there is no shortage of things to apply to. it is the limiting factor has actually been my own exhaustion, because like I could rattle off hundreds of applications, but I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that like, okay, if I apply to this job, I want to work this job, have a decent cover letter, actually engage with them. Some clients on Upwork, they want to make sure that people aren't rattling these applications off. So they'll say like, in the beginning text, type in "I am human." And one of them, I submitted the proposal. I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to say that I'm human. Oh, it's totally like I straight up don't blame them, because they're thinking, no, people are just like, it is a little like Upwork right now. The main thing that I was doing on Upwork is like looking for audio editing, audio producing jobs. It is competitive. A posting will go live, and then in about a couple of hours, you can see how many other people have applied to it, and it can be anywhere between 20 to 50 people, many of whom are willing to work for like dirt cheap.
Yeah.
That's the world. That's the world.
That's a question I wanted to ask, that and I apologize for saying a question when you were talking, Joseph, but that's why I was going to wait to say something. But I had something else that you just remind me of. I was meaning to ask. Is there something I've been wanting to do? Just a couple of things related to my YouTube channel I've been wanting to do, but freaking I didn't know anybody who knew how to do it. One of those things was making like a YouTube banner for my channel. Another one was making like an intro for me.
Like a video intro, like with graphics and special effects and stuff like that.
Yeah, like how other YouTubers do.
Yeah, Fiverr's a place to go.
Highly recommend Fiverr. I actually go on there quite often, and you will find some guys who can do amazing work for a low cost. But with that, you're also paying for the value. So you spend and you can get, like what you're saying, you can get one made for $5, 100%, $5. You can get one made. You could also spend a little bit more, $10, and you can get a better quality, a better response, maybe better time. So I highly recommend Fiverr. One day they could reach out to me, but yeah, I highly recommend Fiverr.
I was wondering, because if Joseph knew how to do that stuff, I would have paid him like $100 to do it.
Oh, did I say Fiverr? Did I say Fiverr? I meant Joseph. Joseph, yeah, and Fiverr is expensive, guys, so Joseph's a cheap option.
Well, it's funny because like I offered to do animations for Arthstream, our mutual friend, Twitch TV /GUUDJAH, and
I didn't approve this.
I did not hear what you said. I need to hear that.
I just said I didn't approve this. Just let it go.
Okay. Well, your mouth said no, and your body language was in agreement. So yeah. I offered to do animations for him, and then I was able to take those animations and put them up on Fiverr to try to solicit other work. And so this is one thing that, and by the way, Charles, just so you know, it's just not my strong suit, so I wouldn't really be able to do the best job. The banner, maybe. But the video intro, not my strong suit. But anyways, this is the thing that a lot of people have a misconception about if they want to get into freelancing, is they want to get the good paying jobs right away, or, well, we all do. Or once they make peace with that impossibility, they want the low paying jobs right away. Now you're going to have to make peace with the fact that you might not get those right away either. Starting off as a freelancer is an investment. Your first step is actually going to be doing professional work at a loss. When I first started doing podcast editing and producing, the first show that I did, I never made any money off of it. In fact, I'm still hosting the show on my Pinecast account, which is like $5 a month for like a bunch of different shows. It's a value, really good value, but it's still costing me money to this day. But the purpose was, you've got to prioritize doing professional work. If you take a loss for it, too bad. It's an investment. But having done this, it started off at a loss, made my way to break even, and then actually managed to get into more of a profitable state with it. Yeah. So yeah, it does work. It really does. But as long as, like, if you're willing to take a loss at the beginning, that will set you up for success down the line.
There's just something that I thought about it, that if you knew you were able to do it, Joseph, I figured that we would both be benefiting, because I'd be paying you $100 freaking for it, and that would be after I got my tax return and everything, and I would be getting a really cool banner and and the actual freaking intro instead of the one I've been using, right? Just my name and like freaking red or black text.
I appreciate it, but honestly, like, I'm basically I'm gonna like basically start my transcription stuff next week. I'm just doing
Awesome.
some practice right now to like make sure that my typing skills are proper.
I mean,
And
question. Sorry.
sorry, I was just gonna say like as long as income is fine and all of that, I'm happy to just do it, just to
Aw.
have it on my portfolio so that I can solicit other work for it. And this is all stuff that I'm doing while I like okay, so income comes in. I get to start working on my e-commerce stuff and see if I can actually take the 2 years that I spent learning from them and apply it. And while that's going, still put myself out there to maybe find a salaried position somewhere, because there was one job I didn't get it. They didn't hire me, but there was one salaried position, a content producer, that yeah, like a content overseer. It would have been a 50K salary to get that one. So there are some people out there. Was basically every company on the planet in existence right now needs content. So if you're a content creator and you don't mind, like, helping someone else's dream for a little while, every single company on the planet needs content.
Yep.
There's not one exception. Name me an exception.
No, there's not one. I mean, look at
Firestone
all
Tires,
these companies.
Firestone. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, I guarantee they have ads, they have social medias, but look at how TikTok was. There was not a company out there doing TikToks, and now you can't go without seeing a company on there, because this is what TikTok does. They go, hey, if you want a paid ad on here, you have to make a TikTok account. That's how you have to do it. It's fucking genius, because now you're forced to have a TikTok. Now you're forced to post content. Now you're forced to do this, and it's good marketing for TikTok.
Thanks, coronavirus.
Thanks, COVID. Not for the deaths, but for the jobs.
Yeah, I'm not trying to put everybody else's well-being before my own. But if COVID wants to last like another 3 months before all my friends start inviting me out and I got no money, you know what?
Well, it hasn't disappeared in 2 years, so I think you're good.
And the other question I had was that whole it had to do like audio to text. So it was like, wouldn't that be like what deaf people would use to be able to listen to music?
No. So I don't know 100%, but I think what Joseph is talking about, like he's talking about like a not an interview per se, but like let's say he interviews or someone interviews someone else. I think his job would be is writing that kind of down in like
I think that's a stenographer.
A stenographer?
Like if you think of like a court, for instance, or when somebody's like typing down the minutes of the court proceedings, that's what I think it's called. If not, that is a cool ass name for a job title. Stenographer.
Fair.
But so transcription would be, say, for instance, there is a news report. It's just it could be YouTube videos. It could be meetings. It could potentially be an interviewer or interview. I'm not physically there writing it down as it goes, where the content is received and then it's being transcribed after the fact.
Oh, okay. So it's like if you were keeping a record of stuff that was being said.
Yeah, but you are right about making it accessible for people with I guess with a hearing impairment. So for people who would need to see the subtitles, and sometimes I think subtitles are just about transparency and posterity, so that there's more. It's just easier to reference what's happening. So yeah, so for people who maybe not today, but maybe at some point you're like, man, I gotta quit my job, but it's scary to do that and to see what it's like on the other side. Let me tell you, it is scary, and there will be despair, but just hop onto YouTube and just keep typing in work at home options. Yep. There's like 100 YouTubers. One I interviewed who showed like, I remember, I interviewed this person who talks about work from home. I went to go back to some of her YouTube channel and just pulled up a bunch of the websites she was talking about just to get the ball rolling. And the algorithm will guide you the rest of the way and show you all of these other options. So yeah, there's a lot of freedom these days. And hopefully next time we record, that's going to be next week, so it'll probably would have been my first day actually like having a go at it.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
mental
hopefully
note, apply for
hopefully
the
it
job
turns
this
out
week,
good.
so I'm ready to go by next week.
I don't know when I lost my job at CC's because of when the freaking whole outbreak started and everything. It was a long, like it was like a long half a year for freaking me. And the only thing that was nice about it is, besides being home all the time, freaking not being bored out of my mind, freaking playing video games or being on my laptop watching YouTube videos or whatever, I was able to do stuff on my channel when I freaking restarted that whole crap, freaking because of the whole copper thing made me scared, and I deleted all my videos, which I kind of regret. Some of those videos I actually wish I still had on my channel. But I also freaking was making a lot of money off of unemployment and crap, and all the government benefits we were all getting at the time. But yeah,
See,
sucks being unemployed.
that's nice, like getting the unemployment and stuff like that. But unfortunately, when you're self-employed or you're your own freelancer and stuff like that, it's even it really lies into more terrifying because and then when you realize that you no longer have a job, now you're like you're like in a fight or flight mode you can't ever get out of. Like you wake up in the morning and thinking if YouTube tanks or if the website I use go down or whatever, I'm done. Like, and it's a little bit because at least being employed like with an actual like W-2 job, you kind of have that like safety net, knowing that they fire you, there's gonna be some kind of something there. There's gonna be something that can benefit you versus taking the leap like Joseph did, or if YouTube said, "Hey, you're done." Like, if something like that were to happen, I would have savings, but it's like I have nothing to really bounce back from. But for Joseph, though, you were talking about like there's so many work from home options. Now, that spikes my curiosity. Let's put mindsets of you're just a person on YouTube wanting to get a job, willing to work cheap and stuff like that, but don't have a lot of typing knowledge or doesn't have recording knowledge or all this stuff. Is there jobs on there that you actually seen that you could have little to no experience with that people could do for a estimate low cost?
Right. So in terms of entry level, customer service is probably where it's at.
Okay.
If you can't find a customer service job with a company direct, then you can find a middle management company who will source the customer service agents and provide those as resources to companies. So if a company, some of these companies, they don't just need to hire like one or two customer excellence managers once in a while. They need to hire like tons of people. So for them, it's a lot easier to go to these agencies that have already vetted the customer service agents and said, okay, you're working for this company now, so off you go. If customer service is like, unfortunately, there's a lot of horror stories. I've done customer service before. It can be pretty daunting work just because people don't come to you when they're in a good mood. They come to you when they're in a bad mood.
Yep.
As if you're at a restaurant.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
So it can be pretty draining work, but it is doable, and there are people that are built for it. There are some people, all of that stuff just rolls right off them, and they don't have any issues with it. They're rare, but people can. If I don't know if you guys have ever seen those slapping competition videos with these big hulking Russian dudes. They smack each other in the face, and Moist Critical's commentary on it is just. Mwah. And I just think, look, if there's people in this world who could be built to get slapped in the face and slap other people in the face, there's people in this world who are built to do customer service. Yep. So if you feel like that's what you're built to do, then I would say go for it. One of the persons I interviewed was a career management specialist. She'd probably call it something else because, frankly, I can only remember so many details. But I asked her, like, what kind of work should people be looking for? And the best answer, and the answer that I think is really, really valid now that I'm in that searching position, is figure out what comes naturally to you. So that doesn't necessarily mean it's your passion. It could be something that you just have a knack for. Yeah. If you figure out something that comes naturally to you, then it's easier to generate the energy you need to do the job. So when I came across transcribing, I thought, well, that's two things that I do naturally, which is write and listen. So the fact that there's a job where I can actually do that is very exciting. So figure out what comes naturally to you, and then figure out how to get paid for it.
Yeah, I think that's actually pretty reasonable. And like you said, when it comes down to like trying to find something you want, you're gonna take massive like hits and stuff, or you have to invest your own time and money into it before you ever see a payout. Voice acting, you hear a lot from if you're into voice acting, you hear a lot about this from different voice actors to how to start voice acting from home. Like you hear a lot of this where people will say, "I've spent X amount of money just to get a part." Just to get a part, not even to get the role, and the role doesn't pay. When you get an opportunity, you want to take that opportunity. I only got paid one time to voice act, and they didn't even use the line. And that's the reason I got paid. It's because they didn't use it, and they felt bad, and they're like, let me at least pay you for your service. But I voice acted for so many places, and I had to make sure I had the microphone. I had to make sure I paid for my subscription to Zoom. I had to make sure I did the stuff that was necessary so I could put my voice out there for a 5-second line or a 30-second phone call. Like, it was literally that. But you don't get your dreams jobs just going on Craigslist and finding that one ad. You have to have your kind of lineup. So, like, if you're good at podcasting, find some people that needs a co-host. Shadow. I know if you contact a lot of people, you can shadow them. And a lot of the times, that's how you get your foot in the door, is you shadow somebody who does podcasts, and then maybe they'll let you on so you can kind of see how they're doing it. And maybe they'll be like, hey, we are really looking for someone to kind of work with the editing or social media. We're looking at someone who can like edit down these clips or something, throw them up on social media. There you go. Like, always be prepared for what you want to do. But in the meantime, you, like Joseph, you were saying that there was jobs on there that paid less, but they were for like customer service work. If that's something that if you're a good people person, you could do that and still try to do your voice acting stuff till you get there. And if it's all work from home, then you can easily be able to manage that. But I highly recommend 2 things. If you work from home, do 2 things. Have your safe place. Have your spot where it's yours, not an office, out of the office, out of your room where the computer is, out of all that. So you can have time for yourself. And if you feel like you're getting too overwhelmed with stuff, BetterHelp. BetterHelp's a great online therapy platform. You can go there. There's no judging. There's no nothing. BetterHelp, I highly recommend it. I considered using it several times. I've highly recommended it to my friends. It's not an ad read. I definitely know that people do need help, especially working from home. That was a big thing. And like we said, losing your job as a freelancer, as your own employee, it's a massive hit. So, I mean, it hit many ways. So if you're feeling those ways, seek some help that you need. Now, was there anything else that happened out through your week? Any other fun stuff to happen?
Well, just the last point that I wanted to make to wrap this up is that I think people who are in the freelancing space, the space just calls to them. Yeah, I was looking at my resume because I had to update it, and well, I like that one, but they let me go because it was insolvent, which means the business shut down. I like that one, but I had to resign to go to that one, which let me go because the new district manager didn't like me and my store manager, and she axed us on the same day. I left that one. That one. Wait, I'm actually still doing. Oh, that's mine, right? Self-employment. Okay. Yeah, no, I haven't been fired from that one. Although there've been some close calls. So I have not been in a companied position for more longer than 2.5, 3 years. The longest position that I've held has been the one that I made up from scratch. Okay, if you're in the freelancer space, there's a reason for it. You're the kind of person that just has to be their own boss.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. I really try my best to be a team player, and I can do it. But the universe just, it pulls people in ways that are difficult to describe. I sat down for a day last week just to work on my novel, and man, talk about what comes naturally to you. I felt so fulfilled working on my novel. Daunted when I realized this is going to take me another year before I'm even done the first manuscript, but still, just the feeling of actually working on what it is you really, really, really want to do, while also stopping the bleeding is why I feel better. I feel a lot better these days.
Good.
Other thing, totally random, but there was one Call of Duty game that I've always wanted to get. and I found it at a GameStop today, so I picked it up.
Can we take guesses? Can we
I would
take
love it if you guys guessed.
Charles?
Black Ops 2.
Black Ops 2. Okay, I'm going to say.
And by the way, I can't do warmer colder because I don't know the
that's
release
fine.
dates.
It's not Black Ops 2. Modern Warfare 3.
Nope.
Charles, take another guess.
Ghosts.
Nope.
This one's. Can you at least tell me if it's old or a newer Call of Duty? Like, is it from the 1990s, the 2000s, or is it from the early 2000s, late 2000s where we currently are? Like,
It's past the first Modern Warfare.
World at War.
Nope.
You know what? I'm gonna say final guess.
Black Ops.
Nope.
Call of Duty Advanced Warfare.
I didn't realize that one exists. Hang on. Is that the one with Kevin Spacey?
Yeah.
Oh no, I would get that one. No, the one I got was Infinite Warfare.
Wait, did I not say?
That pile of dog shit.
I literally was thinking Infinite Warfare, and I was like, that's too new. That's too new. I would say Advanced Warfare. Fucking Infinite. I did not think it was gonna be that. Oh my god.
I was expecting both. Like, okay, I know that one is not regarded very highly in this series, but as somebody who's like, I'm not a Call of Duty player.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've played Modern Warfare, the original Call of Duty before Modern Warfare. I played with my brother a few times on Warzone, but I would always watch this, like, pay attention to the series and see. And when they put out the one that takes place in the future, and there's spaceships and there's jetpacks and there's an AI robot that's part of your team, I thought, you know what, I'm interested in this, and not because it's a Call of Duty game, just because I just like the concept of seeing future warfare, and I do know that Call of Duty puts a lot of money into their games, and so they're gonna make sure this is pretty well polished. And so I've seen a little bit of the footage of it, and I thought, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm down to play it. $14, got it used. Yeah, that's why it's important for companies to take risks once in a while. It might attract a part of the player base that are not typically interested in playing it. So yeah,
100% agree.
Sorry, Jordan.
Go ahead.
One reason why a lot of people freaking even bought the games for so they could have the remaster of Modern Warfare 1. They just sold it separately.
So, besides your rant about why people bought it, I want to ask though, why did you buy it? Did you buy it for the multiplayer, campaign, or zombies?
Campaign.
Okay.
Well, I mean, the multiplayer is probably done by now.
Well, I mean, yeah, but you can still play with like bots and stuff, and you could probably still find like servers and things online. But I was mostly just curious because I do know some people will play like just for the zombies or just for the campaign. Like, I love Call of Duty campaigns, but it's so hard for me to get wrapped into the several different campaigns. Like, I love Black Ops because it's Black Ops. It's Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, Black Ops 5. That's how it goes. 4 didn't have a campaign.
Yeah, no, for me, it was totally about the campaign, straight up.
Okay.
5 was Cold War, by the way.
Yeah, 5 was Cold War, but Black Ops 4 did not have a campaign, so it's impossible to play.
Did it actually not have a campaign, or is it just like a hyperbolic thing where it was so bad that you've blocked it out from memory?
No, I'm pretty...
It was kind of like a pseudo campaign. It was like these missions that you did with an AI version of Woods. It was like training missions, but they had cutscenes and everything that all tied together. And it was kind of like a campaign, kind of. If you want, you have to look it up on YouTube.
No, there's one that does not have a campaign. It might be Black Ops 3. It might be Black Ops 3 that doesn't have... Well, there's one that does absolutely not have the campaign. So yeah, it has to be 4 then.
It's hard to imagine that there's a Call of Duty. Well, I mean, I guess Warzone technically doesn't have one, but that's a battle royale.
Well, also though, Warzone does have one. It's Modern Warfare. That's the kind of the campaign because that's the one that launched whenever Warzone got made. So I kind of, when I think of Warzone's campaign, I think of Modern Warfare's, even though it does have its
Warzone
multiplayer.
played in the Modern Warfare storyline anyway.
Yeah, okay. So that's kind of how I see with that. But hey, we're on the campaigns right now. So there's been a update that when this podcast comes out, we will see in effect, and hopefully it's good, and we'll talk about it on the next podcast. So Halo Infinite update will make bugs or fix the bugs in the campaign. So there's a new update halfway through season 1 that is a rare thing to see. A massive update like this halfway through the season is unheard of. So in December, they announced that there's going to be a new update that will be fixing a lot of the multiplayer bugs and patches, but a massive update to the campaign. So this is not, I want to make sure it's stated, this is not the update for the multiplayer or this is not the one to give you multiplayer on the campaign. This is not that update. This is a totally different update that John, trying to find his name. I know his first name is John. It's like John Jelasax. Sorry if I'm getting that name wrong. But John Junsinki.
Is his name on this news article?
Yeah, his name's on the news article.
Oh yeah, no, this is a hard one. I think this is Polish, so it might be like Unechik.
Junechik.
The reason why I know this is because I read Watchmen, and there's a character who she calls herself Sally Jupiter, but her actual name was Polish, which was Uspechik, and you would not know that from the way it looks on the page. So that's why I'm going with that as my guess.
Hey, you know what? It's better than what I just butchered. So now with so with going on with that, so they are going to be they obviously know that a lot of the details for the update, a lot of the fans are going to be more focused on the multiplayer updates. This patch will include hitboxes fixes, glitchy armor from bouncing around the wall, going through walls, and different things like that. This, hypothetically, this is from a different article than the one that's in the description. This is going to help change out the cheaters. So this is going to stop aimbot. They use quotes, stop aimbot, stop wall hacking. They're going, according to this separate article, and I don't know how trustworthy this is, but because the article in the description is from comic book, we know that they're trustworthy. But this other one, I was just trying to find what's in that list of updates. They say it's going to stop wall hacks. I don't see this one being an actual stopping point. The reason I don't see wall hacks being stopped is because there's literally a thing in the game you can use that you can see through walls. So what stops a hacker from amplifying that? But anyway, so that's apparently one of the buffs, or not buffs. That's one of the things they're going to fix with the update. They're going to be fixing a lot of bugs, but they are fixing massive flaws to the campaign. Since launch, they've been trying to fix it. So they are fixing a massive flaw in it, and this will be downloadable February 24th on Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and PC. So it will be live to update your game on February 24th. So like I said, this will stop a lot of the hacking, is what it's sounding like. This update, this massive update, it doesn't say, both articles I'm looking at does not say the size of this update. Just be prepared. It's a new game, so it's probably going to be a pretty hefty size. So what are you guys hoping for the update? I know Joseph might not be playing Halo right now, but I do know Charles, me and you are playing lots of Halo. So this is kind of directed towards us. So I want to hear Joseph's opinions on what he's hoping for the update and what he could see them actually being able to fix with their scenario.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to speak generally about this, which is fixing these cheats, fixing hacks. This is all good, totally encouraged, but I always want to see them finding new measures to go after the players doing it. Because I think if you figure out a way to stop these particular hacks, these particular cheats, the players would just find a new way to do it. And so I would like to see how, if they're able to catch people who are doing it, make examples of them, and say the following players have been banned off the game. Mm-hmm. So sorry, I did take up like the first chunk of this episode, so I don't really have too much to comment about this one. But I do want to, at the very least, I can ask you guys an interesting question, which is, what do you feel like you should have gotten from this game at launch? And do you guys feel like, we're in an age now where that initial experience, that inspiring, finally I get to play the game. When was the last time you guys really felt like you had that? Did you feel like you had that with this Halo?
No. Because honestly, this is my biggest thing, is Halo's one of those games you bring the boys over, you sit down, and you play some Halo late at night. And that's usually involves the campaign when it first comes out. You play the campaign with the boys, everything else. You couldn't do that with this one. Yeah, it was impossible. You couldn't play the campaign because they didn't add that into the game. That was probably why I didn't get that moment. Charles, what about you?
I haven't even finished the campaign. I started it, but I haven't touched it in forever because I just got bored with it after I had started and everything. And honestly, I was just going to wait till when me and John could play and we could just finish it together.
So it felt like it kind of like sizzled out after the beginning. It felt like it couldn't keep itself going organically.
Yeah, because it's like, I like the game, everything. It's probably my favorite Halo that's come out in a while. Just that, there's just so much to do in the open world and everything. And it's like, freaking, I have enough time. I already do this with freaking Destiny, where I freaking invest like hours of time freaking doing all this crap. And at the same time, I've been playing freaking Pokemon games on my Switch. Up a lot of time into too, so it's like freaking another open world game. Even though I really do want to finish the campaign and everything, and I want to play it and I want to beat it, I just don't have the time. I just don't have that freaking energy and drive like I used to freaking with these games.
I love how much Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Being bored.
Sorry, it was your turn. I should have let you finish.
Sorry.
I just love how much Zelda Breath of the Wild had an influence on the last like 6 years. Pokemon Breath of the Wild, Halo Breath of the Wild. This is supposed to be sarcastic, but it's not. Sonic the Hedgehog Breath of the Wild.
Wait, for crying out loud, there's a boss fight in Pokemon Legend Arceus that's literally, I felt like, what kind of freaking Breath of the Wild shit is this?
They must have a good impact on the community, the gaming community alone, for them to kind of use that as a template. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool.
Legends Arceus enough. That game is fucking awesome. Good.
Now, so with now Joseph, I'm gonna come back to you for a second because you brought up the fact that we have you want to see like the cheaters like get a stop to them, like actually like stop them. So here's the problem I have is not a problem. Here's the situation. What do you think Halo can do to stop them from just not making another account with the same cheats? Like what do you think will stop? Like, because the thing is I could go on right now and make another account in a minute. It does nothing. Xbox Live or Xbox Gold lets you share the internet access to everyone. So you just don't use that account. You just make a new account, get it set up, start hacking again. Like, so what do you think they can do to prevent that? Because that's kind of what you were saying about with the cheats is why not focus on the actual, like, how they're cheating, but focus on the players themselves. So what do you think they could do that might be able to put the motion that you're saying?
That's a good question. There are a series of ways that you can punish players, and eventually it gets to a point where the punishment will actually affect other people, and that might be where this has to go. So let's say, for instance, at first an account is shut down. Well, then somebody, as you say, can just start up a new account. Mm-hmm. If the account is shared across several people and is shut down for everybody, that at least inconveniences all of the people who were sharing it. So that can act as a disincentive if it's possible to ban a specific credit card. So then that way, this credit card is associated with an account that has been considered cheating. This credit card is no longer a accepted form of payment. Obviously, you can find other credit cards, but
this is prepaids, but that's really making them go out of their way to get it.
At least it's always good to remember barbed wire doesn't stop people from getting through. It slows them down, and you want to slow people down as much as possible so they just end up talking themselves out of it and be like, you know what, maybe I will just play this game properly. Okay. Cheating shows a lack of maturity. there isn't a good reason to cheat. It's just a sign that a person lacks certain conviction and doesn't value winning. They treat winning like a heroin addict treats getting their next hit. They're just chasing after the hit, and they'll do whatever it takes, regardless of the consequences to themselves or other people. So, the feeling of winning is intoxicating. So, I understand why it happens. I don't condone it one bit. So what could I do after that? Ban an IP address? Nobody in this house is allowed to get on Xbox Live at this point going forward due to the results of somebody cheating. So if it gets to that kind of drastic measure, then now what do they got to do? They got to go to their friend's house to be like, hey, buddy, maybe you should just stop cheating. Yeah. How's that? How's that for a for a solution? So there's options there, but you do have to start, unfortunately, you have to start making other people's life worse as a result of somebody's actions, because without that, there's just not drastic enough consequences.
Okay, so I kind of do like the idea, and all that was well said. All that was well said. In the comments, I would really like you guys to put your opinions down on what do you think. Xbox, or not Xbox, Halo, the makers of Halo and stuff like that can actually do for the stop the cheats. But I do like how you kind of stated, it can stop everyone on that Xbox, or it can stop everyone on that PC. Like, it leads back to the main source of the account and kind of locks it. Because only thing this is going to do is little Timmy's going to get on, email Xbox or Microsoft and say, hey, my brother was cheating. Why am I getting hurt for this? It's like, it's fucking life. Like, it's what happens. If one person shoots somebody and you're a witness, you don't say anything, guess what? You're in that situation. You just need to be like, hey, stop cheating. Stop your family from cheating. If you know they're cheating, stop. I like how we're saying, you can prevent cheaters. Like, it's not that, but it does. Like you said, eventually they're gonna be like, what's the point? But I do like you said it perfectly with the whole, it feels like the next hit, in a sense, because I have so many Call of Duty friends that said they were talking with cheaters. Clay, one of my good friends in town, he brought up the same thing. He's like, I was talking to a cheater the other day, and he said, yeah, they like it for the thrill. They think it's fun to cheat, like being able to see how far you can get before it goes down, or see how far you can get before you get reported, or see how quick an account can get banned. Start the game and literally just start mowing people down. Like, it's like a high for them. They want to get it. And I'm not saying it's a perfect example. I don't do drugs. I don't fucking know. But it's
I do,
it's a
and
good
that's why
reference.
I can speak to it with confidence.
Be a Joseph.
Yeah, be unemployed, do drugs.
No, don't do, unless if they're legal, don't do drugs. I feel like we actually have to say that. If it's not legal, don't do it.
Hey, that's right. Yes, I'm not a financial advisor. But yeah, do drugs.
We're gonna get that one person who takes his podcast way too seriously and being like, Mom, he said we could do drugs. Let us do it. Don't do drugs, kids. Unless if you're Charles.
What?
or if it's culturally accepted, like coffee. It is interesting. You talk to some people and they get all bent out of shape about how certain drugs are culturally normalized and other drugs not so much. Coffee, alcohol, weed, now it's all normalized.
Yeah.
You wouldn't. What's the slogan? Don't talk to me until I've had my coffee. Yeah, that's addiction. That's somebody. That's addiction right there. And also, since we got off on this tangent, and I haven't derailed the podcast in a while, this is also the same mentality. The reason why I've always hated when people follow meta like it's a religion, or follow the meta game, because to me, chasing the win within what the meta determines is a few steps removed from that same mindset of a cheater, which is, okay, I want to win and I'm not going to cheat, but I am going to exploit the hell out of the game as much as possible to win. It's why I can't stand disrespecting competitive play. It's like, well, I'm not cheating, I'm not exploiting any of the game mechanics, but I am pissing the other person off and making and infuriating them, which could potentially lead to long-term issues. to win. It's the same mentality. It's addicts trying to just chase a win and doing whatever it takes. Oh, I'm not cheating. I'm just harassing the other player on Twitter, making the person not even want to show up to the tournament. Yeah, no, that's totally okay. No, that's addicts talking.
I'm pretty
That's
sure
another
that's
thing
also classified as bullying. I think that is a definition of bullying. So
Yep.
don't do that.
That's reasons why one of the big. That's things I deal with with Destiny. Freaking Bungie had to introduce their own version of an anti-cheat system in the game, so freaking people who are playing in like some of the competitive modes, like Trials of Osiris, fuck off, because freaking they was really bad with cheaters and aim botters and hackers and everything. And so they had to introduce that so they could at least, and it's actually been pretty good so far. You know, there's still
Good.
some freaking really sweaty tryhards and some people that I still question, but it's working. And the thing with Destiny, especially Destiny 2, is everyone, even especially the big YouTubers, always do this whole thing where they go for the most meta weapons, like including the most meta rolls and certain weapons, which we call God rolls, where you can freaking be able to kill somebody as quickly as possible and be able to rack up more kills and freaking the multiplayer, whatever, or freaking blow through a nightfall striking, especially on the harder difficulty, so you can get the best loot, so you can freaking get your level up, freaking power level up faster, so you can do the raids and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's honestly pretty common, and the whole reason why a lot of these guys will use meta weapons, to say the least, is because of, for one, they're streaming, so they got to get through it quick. I know that's a big thing, and they get views, and and I've done this many times, getting my guns diamond, that means you unlock all the camos, you do all the challenges, you get it diamond. I will use a gun that no one uses, it sucks, it's just so broken, and immediately, first thing in the comments, not, oh, you're using that gun, it's, why aren't you using the M64? It's the best gun in the game. Why aren't you using it? You can get so many more kills. Why aren't you doing that? So it's like, would you rather people just hop onto a stream and you don't immediately get roasted because you're trying to play you? Or if you're getting tons of viewerships or viewers in there and you're just like, we got to keep them entertained. We got to keep this moving. We got to keep everything flowing. It makes sense. Use the meta. Get through it as fast as possible. Don't constantly go, oh, I died. Okay, back to it again. It makes sense to kind of just go with the meta. When me and Arth would stream Warzone, I would just use meta weapons. Even though I was playing to have fun, I was using meta weapons because it just made sense to do. You're live. You don't have time to just sit around and wait for you to keep dying, then just watch everyone else playing using the meta weapons. So when you're in a lobby full of meta weapons, use them. Like, it's literally just do it so you can actually give content to the viewers.
This is in the Borderlands. People would literally find bosses for hours on end just to find that one version of a legendary.
Dude, I've done that with Borderlands 3 so many times. So many times I've done that with Borderlands 3. Joseph, what are you doing?
If I hold this piece of paper up to the camera, it auto balances to my actual skin tone. But as soon as I take it away, I go back to looking like one of my loved ones did before he died.
On that note, welcome everybody to Score Podcast.
This podcast brought to you by Anchor.
Anchor, you don't find dead people, but you find Joseph. I think
Next
it's because
best
of your
thing.
shirt.
I was having the same problem last week or 2 weeks ago.
I know it's just, and I know the whole thing with meta is the same thing with like games like Dark Souls and other Souls-like games.
Mm-hmm.
People be trying to find the best stuff to be able to beat bosses.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, I will say just one other thing. I think a meta is actually healthy when players just organically find their way into certain archetypes. Like the strategy game that I'm playing, there's like 8 different armies that I typically see. And over time, I ended up forming my army that was very similar to one of the main archetypes. I was like, okay, well, you know what? I came to this conclusion naturally, but it turns out that this is a meta build. So if players are like organically making their way into it, then I think that's a sign of a healthy meta. But when it's unhealthy, it's when, like you're just saying in chat, you pull out a gun and it's like, what the hell are you using that gun for? It's like, calm down, you know?
Yeah, take a chill pill, calm down, you're doing you. And I feel like that's like the biggest reason why people do certain things. Now, it's you decide what you do, but It's kind of
you have to find your play style. That's way more important than picking the top tier weapon. You have to figure out what works for you. And if it's just so happens that one of your archetypes is high in the tier list, it wouldn't be such a bad idea to pick that up.
And like, look at the last few videos I've been posting the last few days. Freaking, I was just literally edited videos together where I'm just using a certain gun. Freaking, actually had quite a lot of fun doing it. Freaking, making those, using those weapons, using those and making those videos. Freaking, because I'm one of those. I will try to get some of the freaking best rolls on some weapons. But it's like if I can find a weapon that I like, you bet I'm freaking rolling up into the crucible. I'm freaking, I'm kicking some ass with that fucking gun.
Yeah, and see, that's why I loved Borderlands 3, was because there was, like, meta weapons, but it was like, they had so many air quote meta weapons. You had your pick. You could literally be like, oh, I want to use one pump chump, super meta, and then you're like, but I really want to use the speed loader over here. Like, and it's just like, boom, like, there you go. Like, you got options, so it's not really meta, but they're like,
that was fun about we were playing together. Well, like, we were just using whatever the heck we felt like, because, like, we were going back and watching from your perspective when we played Borderlands 3. We were going to the last parts of the Handsome Jackpot DLC. You were just running around with these weapons that weren't that great because they didn't do that as much damage as ones I was using. Yeah, you were still freaking doing the work, and then you see on from your point of view, me just running around with like freaking one melee one SMG that shoots in like bursts, but freaking it was melting the freaking Jack mech.
Yeah, see, I like the idea of being different, and I think that's why I suffered through the 24-hour challenge of Call of Duty, is because I set a challenge wheel up, so I just did something completely different all the time, and so I didn't have to worry about any of it. Now, I will also state this: don't play Call of Duty for 24 hours straight and film it, because you realize how many times you don't realize, but you can have one moment you're touching your nose just doing this because it itches, and you do it again, then you do it again, and you're literally just looking. Before you even die, you get 2 kills, and you're over there doing this. It looks like you're a goddamn drug addict.
I wasn't tired. I didn't have to work.
That's why I do this so much.
What, Charles?
I was just saying that if I didn't have to work the next day, and if I wasn't so tired that night, I would have stayed up longer to play it with you.
Well, don't worry, Charles. The return of a 24-hour vid. No, it's not happening again. I would rather eat dirt than do that. Oh my god, that was so terrible. Terrible in the good way.
Like Halo or Borderlands, if you ever want to.
Oh yeah, once I can find a good enough challenge, I'll probably end up doing that again. But to kind of roll this podcast, back a little bit. So that is the news with the Halo going on. This has already been highly productive. So let's go ahead and talk about some things that really aren't that productive. So let's talk about, hang on. Fairy Tail is releasing their Funko Pops. Like, I'm not a Funko Pop fan, but I am a Fairy Tail fan, and this actually excites me. I watched Fairy Tail for a long time. I really enjoy it. They're releasing their Funko Pops. I'm so excited for it.
Isn't that the anime with the girls are freaking literally on purposely they're freaking wear the skippiest outfits to show the freaking
Boy, why do you think I like it? Okay, like, it's so weird. So this is the weirdest part about me is people don't expect me to like watch like reality dating shows. People don't expect me to like watch anime for big titties, but I love Too Hot to Handle, and I love anime titties. They bounce, they're great, and they're perfection. So I like it. People can judge me for
watching their asses too.
Best part, bro. Best part.
I've seen Fairy Tail, and a friend of mine and I have talked about freaking Fairy Tail, and freaking I've seen what some of those girls look like.
Yeah, they're they're not dressed the greatest, but it is what it is.
That character literally purposely had fun freaking being a freaking bartender, for Christ's sake.
Hey, you know what? Don't diss, because there's a lot of anime lovers out there. Don't diss on Fairy Tail, because they make good content. Delicious what? No, who said that?
I'm not dissing on the freaking anime fans. Freaking, I watch freaking My Little Pony, for Christ's sake.
And it's out here live, guys. You've heard it today. You've said that years ago.
Do you count My Little Pony as an anime?
Kinda.
I respect that.
Really, it was freaking. You seen how freaking it was for the freaking people like me that freaking like watching a Dragon Ball Z fight between a freaking centaur creature and the main character. Like legit, the end of the fourth season, freaking the main character and a villain that's basically named up a villain from the original cartoon, freaking had a Dragon Ball Z style fight, and it was fucking awesome.
And then what?
And freaking rainbow lasers freaking happened, and everybody freaking had toothpaste like hair.
That's great. So what? Okay, I don't actually know the definition. So what's your guys' best idea of the definition of an anime?
Ooh, I love this question. By the way, as soon as you said there were titties in Fairy Tail, I just tried Fairy Tail anime. There are so many mouse pads. Anyways, so
oh, one day I'll have one.
I love this question. I'm so happy that you asked it because I have this whole philosophy about that.
Okay,
so,
shoot me.
But I gotta back up a second. So, is a cartoon and an animation the same thing?
No.
Yes or no?
No.
No. Why not?
A cartoon is meant for younger audience, and that's how I feel about it. So I don't classify as SpongeBob as an anime. I classify it as a cartoon. Fairy Tail, I would count that as an anime because of all the, I guess, vulgarity, the violence, like that. I would say is not a cartoon.
Okay.
There's borderline ones with animes, but that's what I would go to.
Okay. I have a different take on this.
Okay.
So for me, the difference between a cartoon and an animation is that a cartoon is about the rules. It's not about the format or the media. So let me some examples. King of the Hill. Great animation, not a cartoon, because King of the Hill is played totally straight. You would think there's a few wacky things that happen here or there, but for the most part, that show is grounded. Those characters are totally 100% believable. On the flip side, Community from NBC, that show is shot with live actors, but it bends the rules of reality on a routine basis, making it actually more of a cartoon. It's shot with live actors, so cartoon is about elasticity. It's about whether or not that this piece of content adheres to the rules of reality or it pushes the rules of reality. In season 2 of Community, they full on had a zombie attack. Like straight up had a zombie attack in it. And it was totally canon. It wasn't a nightmare sequence. The spoilers, the military comes in at the end of the episode, wipes out everybody's memory. Nobody remembers the zombie attack, but it was full on canonical. So again, you can look at different animations and think, well, some of these are totally grounded and played straight. Not that often. The crossover between cartoon and animation is like 90%. So there aren't that many animations that are not cartoons. But that is the difference. So when you get to anime is, you could say it's a format. I'm not as resolute in my assessment of your question. So what sets anime apart is it has cartoon elasticity, but it still plays it straight. They still stick to their rules. They do try to convey a sense of realism, even though it's whack and people, their eyes are pretty big. So that part of it I'm still working on. But to get back to the genesis of your question, what defines an anime is that the expressiveness of the characters, the fact that their features are exaggerated, even if it's a pedestrian slice of life, kids are going to school kind of show, they still find ways to heighten it through the expression on the person's face. So I think it really comes down to just the way the characters' faces are made.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm just wondering, I'm holding one of the seasons of Ruby, which is classified as an anime.
Yeah, Ruby is classified as an anime. Actually, one of the first animes made in the United States, actually, I think the first one was Attack on Titans, was the first one actually made in the United States, but Ruby was one of the very, very close ones in the top 10.
The first one was Avatar. It's not officially an anime, but it's such a good cartoon.
Dude, you threw me through a loop. I was like, what? But I guess so, because Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
But Yu-Gi-Oh's an anime.
I don't think they count it as an anime. But anyways, now that I've had some chance to think out loud, so anime is animation, but in Japan,
Yeah.
Or at least rooted in Japan. So everything else that I said sticks. I would just replace the word animation with anime. It's a different rule set, it's a different format, but still basically animation.
Okay. That's a good an eye view on it, because I would think like this is the hardest one though, because I would have assumed like, and there's not a good way to say this, but I would have said like any kind of animation show made from Japan. But that's not accurate, because you have places like Cartoon Network that outsources a ton. So you can't really say that. But
Samurai Jack kind of is an anime too, if you think about it.
which one?
Samurai Jack.
If you lean on the side of what Joseph said, yeah, I would.
Well, they
say.
obviously take a lot of inspiration, but Samurai Jack is so unique, though. Like, it really is its own
I
thing.
love that show.
I've only seen little bits and glimpses of it because my brother watched it, but I honestly, my list of anime / cartoons, the things that I watch, are so like low. I like, because for one, my time's valuable, and so I like have to like, why am I watching this? Is the person I like in it? Is a company I love made it? Like, these are the questions I have to ask before watching it. Like, I will sit down and watch a movie, but I have to have like a benefit to why I'm watching it. Am I watching it so we can hop on the podcast and talk about it next Monday? Am I watching it because it had Ryan Reynolds in it and he takes his shirt off? Like, I need to know why I'm gonna watch something and what am I gonna get out of it. Don't laugh at me for Ryan Reynolds being shirtless, okay? If I go gay, it's for that man, okay? He looking pretty good, not gonna lie. Ryan Reynolds is the one man that can turn 80% of America gay. It is what it is. It is what it is. I honestly, I wouldn't turn gay, but I would want to be him. I already have the sarcastic marks, and I already have the funny, like, little comebacks and stuff like that. I don't have the body. I want the body. If I got the body, I got the looks.
You're hurting yourself just by freaking pushing a car out of snow and then shoveling it. Freaking good luck with that.
Okay, listen here. I was going to keep that silent through the podcast. Now you brought it up. Listen, 8 inches of snow with the road, like guys on there, throwing more snow up on, having to hurry up and shovel it because we have a BMW that is like 4 inches off the goddamn ground. So I had to sit there and shovel every little bit out. And then I pushed out a car in the snow and shoveled more. Okay, I like to say...
I had to shovel more than that freaking growing up back home.
That was back then. We were young. I could do that back then. Okay, I don't got time for that. I'm exhausted by just using the bathroom. My foot falls asleep using the bathroom. Okay.
I was having an asthma attack because I'm so out of shape freaking just getting up the stairs to my damn bedroom.
Okay, well, we need to talk about that.
Oh, I'm exhausted just from sitting.
Okay, well, if you're making content, you can actually say that and be true about it. Like, if you're out there making content for like 4 hours and then just get done, you'd be like, I'm drained. I'm exhausted. Like, that happens so much to, like, if you ever pull a full-time streamer off to the side, or days that I'm super busy, I'm just a live stream after live stream after live stream after live stream. I'll be live for like 12 hours a day. And it's usually Mondays. Usually Mondays, I have back-to-back-to-back-to-back-to-back. Today's the first day I don't have back-to-back-to-back, and it's because I'm injured, and I keep using that as the best excuse ever. They're like, you want to do this? I'm like, I can't hold a controller right now, and if I do, I look like a guy who has a broken hand. I'm just like, So it's not a great image of me doing it, but I was like, I could try, and it doesn't work out. But I did find out Grounded is amazing on PC. But we derailed a little bit. I wanted to bring back to Funko Pops because I wanted to ask if there is one Funko Pop that you would love to have, like the collection of Funko Pops. What would it be from your favorite show, anime, cartoons, game series? What would it be?
Halo, I'm thinking maybe like an MLP one because there was some that I didn't get. Borderlands or Destiny.
There are Borderlands and Halo Funko Pops out there, so you might start your little collection soon.
I know they had Destiny ones back when Destiny 2 is about to start coming out. I just never had the money to get them.
That's fair. So I mean, you can now start trying to collect
MLP
them.
ones, I think, because that's when the movie came out that they did that one new art style that they kind of used for the new generation that they're doing right now in that movie. That art style freaking looked epic.
Nice.
And
Joseph,
it was weird
do you
like
have
watching them in
time?
the shit. When I watched like freaking after the seasons after they came out in the movie, it's like the freaking difference in animations between the movie style, freaking the show style is freaking whack.
The movies I noticed they put a lot more quality into is like the Pokemon movies. If you watch the series when the Pokemon movies came out, you see the different quality changes, but they have
Yeah.
to because they up the productions for obvious reasons. So you would rather like Halo, Borderlands, MLP, Destiny
Or
kind
Destiny.
of Funko Pops. Joseph, what about you?
Here's the thing: I don't like Funko Pops.
If you
I
have to
don't-
like it, but okay. Why don't I want to know why don't you like them though? Like that.
I grew up on action figures. Did not have a lot of money, so I can only play Sonic the Hedgehog 1 so many times. So for me, action figures were a major part of growing up. I
Okay.
still have my Bionicles, my Transformers. They're in a box in my parents' house. I would have them on display if I had the room for them. I've got some action figures here from the Zelda series. So for me, the inability to influence the pose is a huge deal breaker. It's why I don't even like the Todd McFarlane toys. They're beautiful, but you can move like one arm up and down, and that's
Yeah.
basically it. Not for me. So I will not get an action figure unless I can influence its position in some way. I had a lot of fun. I made these dioramas where it was Bionicles and Transformers, but the factions were split, so that some Bionicles were with the Autobots, some were with the Decepticons, and it's this Renaissance like painting, but it's a photograph of me just like putting all of these action figures into violent poses, breaking each other's necks. Megatron has like one Transformer in each of his hands, and he's slamming them up against the wall.
That's the best.
So
Sounds like Megatron.
so was that?
I was just saying that sounds like something Megatron would do. Freaking one of the trailers with Transformers Fall of Cybertron, he's literally holding a dude by his freaking head and just freaking crushes it.
Yeah, I should have the images around here somewhere. I'll send them to you. It was a lot of fun, and I would totally still do that. Now that I realize that I can spend like an hour making this diorama, take some photos, I thought, you know what, this was so much better than banging my toys together. In keeping with Optimus Primal's motif from Beast Wars, he is broken in so many places. So if I've got to have a Funko Pop, I don't think I would do anything from the Zelda series, even though that's my favorite game series, just because I just don't care for the way they, would translate into it.
Yeah.
So I guess a Mario Funko Pop would be a pretty safe bet for me. Yeah, like a Mario, Luigi, maybe even Bowser. So somebody from the Mario series would be a pretty good bet.
Okay.
I got one you want for
Maybe
Christmas, though, which is
the
still
Necromancer from Diablo 2. So there's a couple of things in there that okay, I gotta like it. I gotta get one. Okay, something along those lines.
Then for Charles's question, if someone were to get you a Funko Pop, would you accept it?
Well, my mom got me a Funko Pop once. It was Chewbacca, and I
Killed it.
told her straight up, Ma, a couple of days later, not on the nicest, Ma, thank you so much, but I got to tell you, I just don't like these things. The last thing I wanted her to do was think I liked it and then buy me like a bunch down the line.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm sorry, I just don't like these. Although I will say they are good. The quality of them does not come across in the box. It's hard to appreciate the quality of them until they're out of the box and you can actually have a good look. They are. It is great work on them.
Yeah.
Totally. So yeah, somebody buys me a Funko Pop, I'll find a spot for it. But people have bought me so much stuff over the years. I can't hold on to any of it anymore. I get things have got to start getting going.
Yeah.
I actually have a Funko Pop of a wrestling tag team I got from Hot Topic once.
Nice.
My sister got me a gift card for that place. There's one of the digital ones so you can get people. She got me one for Hot Topic for Christmas. I think it was either my birthday or Christmas. I think it was Christmas. So I used it to get one of the couple of wrestling shirts that I have. And I also used it to get the Funko Pop.
Okay. So now here's the thing. Joseph, I was you. I was you a few years ago. I did not like Funko Pops. Didn't like the idea of them. I thought they were stupid. And the fact people are like, leave them in the box. Why would you leave them in the box? I like the idea of being like, I love Legos. I have a Halo set behind me. I have stuff built on the shelf, things you can't see up above that's pre-built. I love Legos. I love being able to do stuff with them. I like actually playing with the things I get, especially as an adult. You could now play with the things that your mom said no. So even like modeled cars, I'm buying it. It's not staying on the box and it's not staying on the podium. It's going to be on my desk. I'm going to drive it around and smash it into stuff because I'm a grown child. So what changed it is there was a collector's one of a kind Garfield Funko Pops. They only made 2. They only made 2 of them. And I was like, Garfield's a big thing. My brother's dyslexic, or my brother's has so much up with him. But one thing we would do is, even though he's blind, Garfield was bright and colorful. So we would sit down every day. And while I would watch him, we would watch Garfield. I would sit on the couch, we'd just chill, we'll watch Garfield. So I was like, it's kind of an emotional part of me. So I went, I'm gonna get a Garfield Funko Pop just for him. Got it, and I was like, I need Odie. I need to find an Odie.
Oh no.
Well, on this shelf of mysteries, I have fuck you.
I hope that wasn't broken or something.
Oh no, dude. The one thing about my Ruby plush, she's not breaking. So this one was only at Target, and I bought Odie. So I now own a complete collection of Funko Pops. But if there was one that I could have, it would be the Pokemon collection that I am actually now building. I am going to start spending once a month. I'll get 1 Funko Pop. I'll try to start with the most cheapest ones because they do rotate out. So I'll start with the cheaper ones, work my way up until I complete 1 set and keep going through. So I'm going to start with Bulbasaur and then work on my 3 originals and then Pikachu and start working from there. And I don't want a crazy amount. I don't want all this kind of stuff. I don't want to just get random Funko Pops. Like if I want it, it's going to be on a specific set, but I do love Pokemon. So if they made Phineas and Ferb Funko Pops, I would get that. But
I think they did.
What?
I think they did.
I need to look that up now. But yeah, you know, when it's all said and done, I wasn't a big fan of Funko Pops until like I kind of just bought one. I was like, I'll buy it. And I was like, kind of want to finish the collection. It's only 2 in 1 collection. And then I did. So it was kind of like that. So if there is a Funko Pop out there that you're interested in, or a collection that you wish they would make, let us know in the comment section down below, and maybe we'll disagree with you.
I think there was a giant freaking Halo related one at my GameStop I seen.
There was a Halo one?
Giant like statue, like one of Master Chief of the Energy Sword or something. I seen that and I was like, damn.
You're like,
I
damn.
think I would like if I had a Funko Pop made after my avatar with the red hood and
you can. There's certain sites at certain times you can make a custom Funko Pop, and it can be of you. It won't be called like a Funko Pop, but it's made the exact same way. And I want to get one of every YouTuber who ever released theirs. The problem is I missed out on so many of them, and they're so expensive. Like the PewDiePie one is an insane price to get now, and I'm like, is it worth it? Is it really worth it?
Largest YouTuber.
Let me work it.
Yes.
Throw it into the back and reverse it.
But
Isn't PewDiePie like the 2nd largest YouTuber now?
I think he actually outpassed T-Series, but yes. But Mr. Beast is climbing up. Mr. Beast just hit 90 million subscribers like last week. And
God.
I mean, and the best part is, this is why I say it's the best part, is every time he releases a video, I learn something new. I learn something new about his editing, or I know something new about how he thinks about the next video to make. And I start learning how he's doing this. So I'm like, ooh, 1 step closer. I'm going to start climbing like he. And I've already gained, like this year alone, I've started out with a goal of 10,000 subscribers. I've already gained almost 200 from the beginning of this year. So
Dope.
it's working. I'm climbing. My last 2 videos hit over 100 views in 24 hours. And since I was averaging 50 views, that's insane amounts. So my 2 full videos I actually made to represent like how Mr. Beast would do his editing has worked. I agreed. I don't know if this was on the podcast or not, but Joseph, you actually said that I kind of replicated Mr. Beast a little bit too much on the 24 hours of Call of Duty. And most people would say like that's an insult, or that was literally what he was trying to do, but that was actually the world's best compliment. And what you said afterwards is what stuck with me more. It was, you need to put your own like oomph to it. You got to put you were so spot on with Mr. Beast. There wasn't you in the video. And I went, he's right. Like, my sense of humor's in there, but the intro it's a Mr. Beast video. It just takes longer to start, but it was literally a Mr. Beast video. But I did such a good job with mirroring him and not stealing his content to where I replicated a video to pretty much be like his. Now, like I said, that took me so much. I've been trying to put my own things into it, my own kind of twists into it, especially with the intros of how they start. Really make sure it's more of how I want to see it and not what he's doing. So that's really good, helpful advice out there. Put your own twists on it. Charles is releasing his shorts and stuff like that. They're doing great. He does wrestling reactions that I don't get. I hop in from time to time, and I'll hear Charles going, "What? He was fucking on him," and I went, I'm not sure if he's watching wrestling.
My last one, when I
he's
think
coming. He's coming.
Okay. I try to be like as best as I can at commenting on what's going on, since I can't show what's actually going on.
Yeah.
I've seen what happens. Some of these channels that try doing that shit, and they get freaking flagged and copyright striked and taken down immediately.
But it's working, though. I mean, you're obviously gaining views, you're gaining subscribers, so I mean, it's working. Your chat's always booming, so it works, and that's why I said just do you.
But I went off about Brock Lesnar freaking winning the Royal Rumble. Somehow that video got over almost 400 views.
Nice.
And I still question it. And surprisingly, everybody in my comment section actually agreed with me for once. Good.
No hate on YouTube.
Oh, freaking douchebags actually showed up this time.
There's one thing I appreciate is that, like, imagine if myself and Charles were also doing the modeling thing. Because you found the difference between modeling and copying. Modeling is, you learn the format, you adopt as much of it as you can, and you make room for your own twist on it. Yeah. That's good. That's what I learned from my past job. Copying is when you basically just like make their video word for word, script for script, and we don't want to do that. No. But if all of us were to like model Mr. Beast, it would not be a good use of resources. It's much. Everyone is better off with like you focus on the modeling and just trying to focus on like being like the main line anchor, the guy who's trying to punch as high up as you can reach. And then Charles gets to work on his niche. He gets to do his wrestling reactions. I'm doing my Battle Legion stream. I did a 2-hour video. I meant to do an hour. I literally talked about the game for 2 hours straight, and I had to restrain myself. I had to stop myself from talking longer. So I get to work on my thing. Charles gets to work on your thing. You get to work on your thing as well. So it's cool to have those kinds of ecosystems where people are focusing on different kinds of content and yeah.
I love that.
What I love about Charles' reaction videos is it's like somebody in the audience of WrestleMania, but he's in his own house. Like he's having the reaction that he would in the crowd, but he's just in the comfort of his own home.
Yeah.
What's just funny? I looked at my phone. It's just something freaking I find hilarious. It just popped up on my notifications. My own video got recommended to me.
Dude, I get that a lot. Like your own video gets recommended to you. It's kind of just like, it makes sense because you're watching stuff that relates with what you're making. It's so weird to me. So the one video that I did not expect to get any hype at all ends up getting hype from it day one. So I use TikTok. So I'm trying to do something people don't usually do. I'm using TikTok to get the ideas. I'm using YouTube Shorts to get the idea for videos. So I'll be like, guys, I'm thinking about making a video. I want to break every rule in Dead by Daylight. If there's something that you're kind of want to see, give it a like. See what happens. And I did that again. 10,000 views within a day. And I was like, oh my God. And that's spread out through the platform. Now they have over 20,000 views on all the platforms. I was just like, people wanted to see this, got it filmed, to release the teaser the next day. 10,000 views. I went, oh my God, these people want me to get kicked off of Behavior's accounts.
I think that my video I did for The Undertaker being inducted into the Hall of Fame of WWE finally probably would have gotten more views than what it has right now if I hadn't been at work when it was first announced. When it comes to wrestling shit, if you're not one of the first ones to upload this freaking shit, freaking good luck trying to get anything. Because some of these big dogs, they can be getting all the views and everything.
Gotta be the first. Either be the first or be the best. That's how it works. But
in my case, just be doing YouTube shorts, freaking, and somehow freaking people see them and they just explode with views.
Shorts are. I'm not gonna get into nitty gritty details because it's training stuff we usually talk about off camera. But biggest thing is shorts is a good way to grow. It's like TikTok in a sense, but on steroids. So it does really help out with stuff. The one thing I will say is, though, with how Joseph said, like, everyone having their own niche, and it's so cool. Like, we can get here and it's like, I'm doing my thing, you're doing your thing, you're doing your thing. We're all literally like in a same networks working. It's just different positions. So it's really cool, and I really want to see this grow. Like, we're growing our community, we're trying to get more people involved, and if you are interested to want to be on the podcast or want to be a part of like our little community of watching each other grow and helping out each other from time to time, hit us up, let's see what we can do. I'm not saying this is a follow for follow, because that is not how we roll. We do not do follow for follow. I would rather shoot
I was
myself.
doing that until I realized I was following so many hot babes. How am I going to make time for all these hot babes?
Dude, I'm going to wait for a documentary, because when I get big, I'm going to make a documentary of how I got started. And I know it's going to happen. I know within like 3 years, I'm going to be over 1 million subscribers. So I'm just like, if I can hit 10,000 this year, it's just going to prove exactly what I'm knowing. So I'm going to get a documentary. Oh my God. I'm going to get a documentary.
I can't stop
made
myself. I'm too vain to not fix this.
Are you dead? You're one of those depressing like time periods. Like, Joseph, your father just died. And you stay in the blue light. Oh, he's getting mad. But we're over here. We're so procrastinating. So if you guys have any topics for the podcast in the future, make sure to let us know. You can follow us anywhere the podcast is at. But Charles, go ahead and be the little sellout you are, you little dirty man. And where can people find you?
If you guys mind, if you can see hopefully meet all the Destiny stuff that's going on with the new expansion coming out tomorrow. And if you just want to see me freaking going nuts on freaking when it comes to wrestling and NASCAR stuff, since NASCAR is back and everything. Especially if you want to see me freaking go off on Cody Rhodes, because I freaking backstabbing piece of shit, low life trader freaking went to competition he talked so much shit about before freaking. You can see all that crap and other stuff on my YouTube channel, which is CJ and Wolf, which I'm freaking slowly growing, which right now is still at 127 subs, and I almost have 2,300 views on that thing, and like I said, it's just freaking slowly growing and everything, and I have freaking a lot of shit freaking come in the pipeline.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So if you want to go see Charles, CJ the Lone Wolf, Joseph, where can people find your beautiful face?
Thank you. I'm working on my giantenemycompany.com. I've made some changes to it because I have to consolidate all the other websites to it. So that's a work in progress. You can go to Giant Enemy Channel in a couple of days. It should be up before this episode is released. You can see me stream Battle Legion. It's my all-time, well, not all-time, but it's one of my all-time favorite games. And I am trying to get hired at Traplight. So, if you know the video gains some traction and Traplight is like, damn, this guy knows this game pretty well,
then you got it.
Yeah. That was actually one of the things I forgot to mention. Is like at the beginning of my jobs hunt, I started with like, who do I want to work for more than anybody else in the world? Nintendo is way too inaccessible. Okay, Traplight is pretty good. And well, I mean, if I had to work at Nintendo, I'd probably end up being like one of those content creators where I'm like, all right, everybody, here's the latest in action figures. Aren't we excited? Whereas like
getting paid
Trapplate is
to
like a
say
growing
this.
company, and I'm like, you know what, I really like what these guys are doing, and I would love to be able to provide the value that I can provide for them. So that was the first thing that I did. Spent a day writing a cover letter for them, and yeah, they're starting to get like, I actually was able to talk to one of the designers, so at least like they know who I am now, and so little by little start to work on this. So that's my main project. I also wanted to, just because you were like, dude, Charles, you dirty thing. You reminded me of this bit. I never got a chance to do it, but it was like, for when I was doing stand up, I couldn't talk about sex because you're supposed to write about things you're knowledgeable of. But man, I got so fired up when the bus I needed to catch was on the other side of the road and the light just hit red. I'm like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you wait right there. You wait right there. Oh, you're a diesel engine. Yeah, you're a dirty little bus, aren't you? Oh, you have to lower to let the person with the wheelchair on. Yeah, hold on, Charles, doing a bit. Oh, you need to lower to let the person on with the wheelchair. Yeah, that's right. You get down. You dirty little bus here. You see this? This is a transfer. You're not in the first bus I rode today. Yeah, that's right. You're my sloppy second.
Hi.
Okay, it's over.
Okay.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Charles.
I was just going back through and looking at some of my freaking videos, thinking, this is one I did that was only like just under 3 minutes long, and somehow it's just over 700 views. Like, what the fuck?
Dude, that's awesome.
Congrats.
So Charles is blowing up. Joseph is horny for a bus, and I'm everywhere you can search up Skull Hunter Games. And just literally in 4 days, or I think at this point it's been a week, and we blew up to over 600 followers on TikTok and continuing to go. So thank you guys for that. But yeah, anywhere you can search up Skull Hunter Games, we are there. We live stream on Facebook, possibly changing soon. We post good content on YouTube, and we post the shorts and funny clips on TikTok. And that comes to the last thing.
Come to D-Live, be with all us crypto bros.
Man, I need the certificate, man. I need the actual crypto. Actually, I'm doing good in crypto right now.
Nice.
I know how to work that market. So good. But to announce for the podcast, so when season 3, this is only when season 3 of the podcast will be out, and you will find out when we take months off. When season 3 of the podcast comes out, we will be changing up a lot. We'll be having a TikTok. We'll be editing the podcast differently. We'll be having different layouts and different scene changes. It will be an exciting change to the podcast. So it will all be good. It will all be more beneficial, and it will cut out some of the dead space. But you can still listen and watch the full podcast on the channel. We'll just be able to separate them better for you guys and add some more edits, actually show the scenes that we're talking about, and actually show the clips that are being mentioned of the ads that we are reading. So it will be better, higher quality, higher performance, but that'll be in season 3. So just stick around with us for a little bit longer, and we'll be getting upgrades to the podcast. Speaking of the podcast, you can find the podcast on any podcasting platform, Spotify, that's the new name for Spotify, iSpot, and anywhere you can find your podcasts at. Come listen to us. Skull Hunter Podcast, that's everywhere you can find it. And if you want to listen to the video, watch the video. Words are hard today, kids. If you want to watch the video anywhere, you can go to Facebook or YouTube. Those are the only places you can find the video at. And since we talk a lot about things we're seeing on the screen, you might want to watch the video side. And I noticed a lot of you guys are, and we greatly appreciate that. You guys literally has shot our view count up on YouTube alone drastically. So the fact that we've already almost had 400 viewers in total on the YouTube channel is amazing. Thank you guys so much. But that has been the podcast, everybody. Woo!
Looks like he's in freaking heaven right now.
Who looks like they're in heaven?
Joseph,
let's go to heaven. Oh, wait. Oh, I need to go off screen a little bit. Oh!
All right, see you guys later.
Bye. We're dying. Oh, God, you really go in hell.
What the freak kind of freaking creepy ass slow pan freaking markiplier shit is this?